for Jesus to say, if you don't get this fixed, if you don't adjust your heart, if you don't get back to the place where you were before, I'm going to remove your lampstand. What was he saying? He was in essence saying, you can go ahead and have church. I'm just not going to be there. My presence will be lacking. The reason why I say that is because at the beginning of this letter, he's described as the one who walks in the midst or in the center of the 7 golden lampstands. If the lampstand is removed, he's not there. Guys, what he was saying is my presence won't be in the middle of what you're doing. And I'll tell you what, we need God. We need Jesus in the middle. We need him in the middle of our schools. We need him in the middle of our university. We need him in the middle of our families, our neighborhoods, our businesses, our marriages. We need him in the middle of our families. We need him walking in the midst of who we are. Amen. I remember saying that I had not really seen that verse in the way that I felt like the Lord showed it to me in that moment. I saw that as they had become overly familiar with the presence of God. Think about it. We ate and drank in your presence. The thought that came to me is, yeah, you ate and drank in his presence, but you didn't bow and surrender in his presence. There wasn't just this revelation of the magnitude of the holiness of the majesty of God that would just cause us to be undone. I'm telling you, I think a lot of us need that. There's times we just need to be undone, and I don't mean just once in our lives. I think it's just a good thing every now and then to get a vision of God like Isaiah did, and just let him undo some things in our lives, or we're just undone in that area of our lives. Why? So he can sweep in with that coal of fire and make it right. The core of Christianity has never been self-preservation. The cornerstone of faith in God has never been led by or built on the foundation of self-preservation. Why? Well, too many believers, starting in Acts chapter 2 and all the way through present day, have spent way too much time in and out of prison for that to be the case. And far too many have been martyred and have died for that to be the case. Does this make sense, everybody? And so we're called to, no matter what we face, to be faithful. So when Dietrich Bonhoeffer was one of the few preachers that stood up against Hitler and the Nazi regime, he became such a thorn in Hitler's side that Hitler personally signed his execution orders. And Dietrich Bonhoeffer, at the age of, young age, 30-something, was hung. And before he went out to the gallows, he looked at his friends and they prayed and they worshiped a little bit, and he said, okay, this is it. I'll see you guys later. That's not being fatalistic, but I'm telling you, there's, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be faced with that. I just want to make sure that if I ever am, I have the same spirit of faithfulness that Dietrich Bonhoeffer had, or that everyone else that was willing to stand for Christ, even if it cost them their physical life, knowing that this life is temporary and his life is eternal. I just want to know I'd be willing to do that. I pray that I would. So when Jesus said, upon this rock I will build my church, he wasn't referring to Peter, whose name's translated rock or Petra. He was referring to this rock that represented everything that was demonic, everything that was defiling, everything that was anti-God. Jesus, in essence, was saying, upon this rock I will build my church. Not somewhere in the distance, not in a place of safety, not hunkered down trying to barricade ourselves against the forces of evil. No, right in the midst of darkness and evil and demonic activity, I will build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. In other words, he was calling us to run to the darkness, to run to the battlefield, to run to the fight, not hide from it, not run away from it. He wants us to be light in darkness. And it wasn't anything more dark than Caesarea Philippi. Yeah, Caesarea Philippi.